Hey everybody, goemonronin back here. I just wanted to do a brief little video on my thoughts on amp simulators. Um, I really like amp simulators. I like the hardware ones the best, of course, but I've used a lot of the software ones. The big three mainly: Amplitube, Guitar Rig, and Revalver. I wanted to go out on a limb here and just say that I think Revalver is probably the worst ampsim I have ever used. It's very CPU intensive. It does not give you particularly good dirty sounds, I find. Believe it or not, you really got to add a lot of stuff to it to get a really good sustain out of the thing. And none of the presets really have anything like that. I mean, it just seems weird that they have the JSX amp in there, and it sounds weak. Now, I will give Revalver this. It does have really good clean sounds. So that's something. If you're into clean sounds, some of the Revalver presets are really nice. Guitar Rig, I think, is a really nice amp sim. I like it a lot. I do not, however, prefer it to Amplitube. I really think Amplitube is probably overall the best amp sim out there. I mean, you know, I know you guys are going to trash me for saying this and everything, but when it really comes down to it, Amplitube has a good set of presets. In fact, for me, just going to the Passion and Warfare preset pretty much takes care of all the lead stuff that I would normally need to do. I think that's a really good lead sound. I don't know that it does clean sounds as well as Revalver does. There's something about PV's amps. I think with the trans tube thing they've done has really made you know, their clean sounds really nice. But I don't know. I think Amplitube does well enough with the clean sounds, and it certainly has enough in there to do really dirty sounds. And the other thing about Amplitube is they have really improved their noise gate in that. The biggest problem with Revalver, or one of the bigger ones, is the noise. And even if you add gates, you can never really get rid of it. It's always kind of there screaming through the amp, even if you turn the volume all the way down on the guitar. But with Amplitube, there's a built-in noise gate. You just, you know, if you're using a USB cable, you have to turn it on just a tad, and that'll take the noise out of it. You know, if you're using a regular cable into your mic input, you have to turn it up a little higher, but the result's essentially the same. The thing that really bothers me about amp sims, software amp sims, is that they tend to be a little on the pricey side. I could get the Amplitube software for, you know, $200 or so, but if I want all the pedals and all the interesting stuff to go with it to be able to control it like a guitar player, and that's that's something you'd realistically like to do, because that is sort of a pain in the ass not having all the pedals and stuff, because, you know, you usually have to go to another screen in the software to you know, make your effects work and turn them on and off and stuff. But it's about $400 for all of the equipment. That's the wah and the foot switch and the software. And when you think about the fact that, you know, you can build your own amp setup, or you're going to have a room full of amps after that, you know, $400 seems worth it. Do they sound like the real thing? Not quite, but, you know, is your average, you know, bar goer going to, you know, notice that? Probably not. So that being said, my thought would be to try and gravitate towards Amplitube or Guitar Rig. Guitar Rig's awesome too. It just seems a little bit more expensive. It's a little more. Guitar Rig and Revalver are based on racks. You're putting all of your equipment, your amps, and your effects and everything into this rack, and it lines it up on the screen. and that's cool. But I've never had a rack mount as a guitarist, and I don't think that I would. I don't think that I'd be putting everything in a rack, even if I did have it. So Amplitude's equipment layout is a little nicer to me. You can go to the amps screen, and then you can go to the the stop boxes screen. Then you go to the rack effects screen, and then the tuner screen. It's all separate, and you click on tabs to get there. And it's all nice and big on the screen, and easier to see and everything like that. And all of that can be real important. I do think that Guitar Rig and Revolver are a lot more picky when it comes to setting them up with USB and Audio and stuff like that. Amplitude has been the least finicky about that so far, so I think Amplitude's just come a lot farther than Guitar Rig and Revolver especially. Guitar Rig I would use if I could go away from the stacked rack layout of it. I mean, I understand that it's real convenient and it's all there on one screen and everything like that, but that's just not. I mean, when I play guitar somewhere, there's an amp and then there's some pedals and then there's some, it's all set up. It's not all set up in a rack. It's just more realistic to me. Tones are. I'm just really startlingly disappointed with the dirty tones in Revolver. It's ridiculous. I just, it seems awful. But to be fair, let's go ahead and put Guitar Rig and Amplitude at the same level. I really feel like those are the best to try out. If those aren't going to work for you, then there are just some virtual stomp boxes and stuff like that that will allow you to run effects into your own amp and such. And back in China, I did have a couple of the hardware effects units, the Digitech RP90 and the Zoom G3, the nice one with the pedal. And really, I think avoiding the whole software thing altogether is the way to go. And going with one of those hardware ampsims is going to reduce your latency and stuff, and it's going to be a lot easier to deal with on stage. And you can set everything up as presets. So overall, I'd say just avoid the software ones, because if you don't have all the pedals and stuff like that, you're pretty much just stuck with one sound. And switching between the sounds without all that is also going to just take. You're going to have to do that between songs and stuff, and probably just live with one sound. So if you don't think you're going to be able to afford all the nice pedals and stuff, look for like a Digitech RP90 or the Zoom G3 or the Behringer Voom or whatever that thing's called, the one that's shaped like a Les Paul. You can get one with a pedal on it. I really think that those are real cool, and I understand that people are real picky about their sound and stuff, but not everybody in the world can afford $1,000 amp. So I think this might be a good way to go for a lot of people. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this right here, and that's that. Nice seeing everybody again.